strong. I am smart. I am bold. I am strong. I am smart. I am bold.
I am strong. I am smart. I am bold.
I am strong.
I am strong. I am strong.
I am strong.
I am strong.
I am strong.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am smart. I am smart.
I am smart. I am bold.
I am bold.
I am bold. I am bold.
I am bold.
But we are stronger together.
I am strong.
I am smart.
I am bold.
Good evening and welcome. How about that video? That was amazing. I'm Tracy Jenkins, Board President of Girls Inc. of Greater Santa Barbara, and I am so glad that you're here with us tonight for the virtual celebration. And it is a celebration. It's a celebration of the strength, resilience, ingenuity, courage, innovation, patience, persistence, joy, and love in our community. We've all weathered an unprecedented and unpredictable year, yet through our collective resilience and care for each other, we've arrived today, stronger, smarter, and bolder than ever before. Girls Inc. is dedicated to a vision of empowered girls in an equitable society. You might ask, what does an empowered girl who has a Girls Inc. experience look like? Well, tonight, you're going to find out. Our theme, StrongHer Together, Finding Strength Through Sport, is right up my alley. As both an athlete and now as a cross-country and track coach, I have seen and experienced the power that challenging yourself physically and mentally can have, not just in your sport, but in your classroom, in your relationships, and in your life. For me, I discovered myself on the soccer field, the running trails, on a balance beam, in a swim lane, and on a triathlon course. I absolutely loved who I was when I worked hard, I did scary things, and I felt free to be myself. And isn't that what we're all looking for? That feeling that you know who you are and you feel completely free to express it. I believe wholeheartedly that when youth are provided the opportunity to experience the combination of caring mentors, demanding activities, and the physical and emotional space to try and fail and try again, that magic happens. At Girls Inc., we call that magic the Girls Inc. experience. It's what we do every day, supporting, challenging, and engaging youth as they discover that feeling of uncompromised confidence. Whether it's in a financial literacy or a STEM class, sticking a landing on a dismount in the gym, hanging out in the teen center, or exploring art through the virtual art programs. Our mentors and facilitators, they're trained in our award-winning proven programs, but more importantly, they're devoted to creating the environment which allows our youth to have those life-changing and empowering experiences. That's why I love supporting Girls Inc. And it's why I'm going to thank right now our amazing sponsors who have really helped us get to do this work in the community. We provide more than 260,000 program hours, more than 1,200 youth. And we are so grateful for all of you. I want to give special thanks to our presenting sponsors for tonight. Ginny Dreyer, Stina Hans and Joel Kreiner, Kathy and Mike McCarthy from the Nurture Cottage Foundation, and our advocate sponsors, City National Bank, Painted Porch Advisors, Women Connect for Good, Ziegler Family Fund. Our partner sponsors tonight are Cottage Health, Kathy and Thomas Dunlap, Farmers and Merchants Trust Company, Hub International Insurance Services, Stephanie Jackson, Christy Kelso and Randy Franciosi, Barbara and Robert Lowe's, Betsy and Bob Munger, Montecito Bank and Trust, Caroline and David Powers, and Pam and Russ Strobel. We are so grateful for you. Well, before I sign off, I'm going to give you a quick preview of tonight's event and what it's going to look like. So you're watching this on a live video link, and if you notice to the right of your video screen, there's a chat space. And we have some Girls Inc. ambassadors live on the chat, and they're ready to answer your questions or just cheer along with you. So if you see that chat space, just take a second right now and say, I'm here, I'm so glad to be here. And you're going to get some great conversations over there. The way our program looks tonight is that we've got our keynote speakers, Sarah Tanza and Melissa McConville, who are the founders of the She is Beautiful running community. And I met these amazing women about 10 years ago when they first approached Girls Inc. to be the nonprofit beneficiary for their maiden Santa Barbara race. And let's just say it was a perfect match from the start. These two positive powerhouses have created a race environment and culture that is unrivaled in its ability to always see and do good. After Sarah and Melissa, you're going to hear from two of our Girls Inc. youth, Jasmine Ordaz and Roz Bora. And side note, Roz and I ran the 2015 She is Beautiful race together. I think Roz had a pretty big PR that day. It was really fun. Leading us through tonight's program is our rookie board member, Kendall Peta, but she's no rookie when it comes to empowering girls and women. Kendall, now a local business owner and mom to a future Girls Inc. girl, was a D1 soccer player at the University of Colorado. Go Buffs. So she knows a thing or two about finding strength through sport. So thanks again for being here. Thank you to all our sponsors. And now please welcome Sarah and Melissa from She is Beautiful.
Thank you, Tracy. Good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa, and I'm the founder and director of She is Beautiful.
And I'm Sarah, Assistant Director of She is Beautiful and Doctor of Physical Therapy. And before you ask, and you think we look alike, we are sisters.
We're excited to be here tonight to share our story and the importance of sports in our lives and passion for celebrating girls and women. Many skills we learn through sports translate to the building blocks to create strong individuals and strong communities. What would the world look like if everything you did, people were cheering and encouraging you? Well, we believe there's an important growth that happens when faced with adversity and what it can teach us. We also believe in creating more spaces that are positive for the world where people can show up as they are, letting go of possibility of failure. Sports were my foundation that launched me to continue my curiosity to self-confidence, mindfulness, community, and forging my own path. As sisters, women in business, mothers, friends, and community members, Sarah and I have so much gratitude for the role sports and community have played throughout our lives.
Sports provided an avenue for me to learn how to take up space, to have the confidence to make a place for myself at the table, to show up and to try my hardest, to have one of the greatest portals to discovering your potential that can be translated to every other aspect of your life. Growing up, Melissa and I had parents who prioritized exercise, and our mom's movement of choice was running. We saw our mom run and come back in a better mood. We had the gift of our mom running without it being about weight or about body image, but how it made her truly just feel stronger and happier. Having the opportunity for mentorship at home in that way was invaluable in wanting to pursue sports for myself, but also really served as a strong example about how important it was to provide an arena for others to feel the power of sports in their lives with She is Beautiful. Having the privilege to try dozens of sports as a kid showed me that it was possible to learn new things. If I could learn the different rules and movement strategies for different things like basketball versus hip hop, surely I could be able to learn how to do other new things in other aspects of my life as well. So many of us don't follow through on the great ideas we have and the things we could add to the world. One of the reasons why is because we see such a large gap between where we are and where we eventually want to go. But when kids play sports, they get the opportunity to see how days, how months, and how years of practice can really add up towards a goal. They also see how much easier it is to achieve these big goals by working together. And so for those reasons, for me, sports and business leadership have really always gone hand in hand.
So we have to tell you guys a story. As young kids, Sarah and I were budding entrepreneurs for as long as we can remember. Our parents owned their own businesses, with our mom owning a preschool and our dad as a therapist. So seeing that you can create something from nothing happened close to home. We had the typical lemonade stands, but we were always adding a line of products to our merchandise, like tying together pine needles as air fresheners for cars, or scooping up horse manure into bags for people to use for their gardens at a fair price, of course.
We stepped up from there a little bit. We went on to putting on a carnival at our mom's preschool. We must have been 8 or 9. And the carnival consisted of these little simple games that we made ourselves out of paper, cardboard, things like that. Things like ring toss, bowling, fake fishing, staffed by all of our girlfriends. And we, at some point, I think we'd learned that what a raffle was. And so we wanted one of those, but we needed prizes, right? And so I still remember the yellow phone book in my hands and us literally as these young girls cold calling businesses, asking for donations, writing them all down. We then drew up flyers, right? Advertising this event to the parents of the preschool and to all of our friends. And I don't really remember many details of the actual carnival, but I really can always look back in awe of our younger selves for having the chutzpah to simply just do the next right thing to move the carnival from being just an idea into an actual event. We didn't get really tripped up along the way thinking about it not working out. We just showed up, trying our best until it happened. Was it a world-class event? Maybe not, but it was the best expression of ourselves at the time. And we raised a bunch of money for the local SPCA along the way. Along with the huge privilege of growing up with parents who own their own business and the encouragement for us to follow our dreams from them, our participation in sports largely led to our confidence to build things like that carnival. We were simultaneously in dance class at that time, and we were doing things like learning a new move or two each week, as you do, right? And each dance move was then added to the ones from previous weeks, adding up until it was a long and powerful dance routine. You can't go from not knowing how to dance to performing a routine in one step, but with many steps over time. Sports helped us learn how to be patient and know the power of how work can add up to make something epic.
Sports were a powerful arena for me throughout my childhood. While facing challenges, uncomfortable moments, and pressure, they also give us opportunities for self-growth and provide a confidence you might not find in other activities. If it weren't for my participation in sports, I may have never found the courage to be bold. I grew up shy and someone who loved school, but academics weren't my greatest strength. I was terrified to raise my hand and say the wrong answer. I prayed I would never be called on to read out loud. But I can remember my first experience in sports, playing on a softball team. I realized pretty quickly that this was something I was good at. And that courage, it rolled over to other aspects of my life. Owning the power of your strengths and weaknesses is important for both children and adults. Through sports, I became aware of my own strengths and weaknesses and how they contributed to how I showed up in my life. I learned how to lean into my strengths. In basketball, I was short, but I was also quick, fierce, and could nail free throws. In softball, because of my short height and coordination and alertness, I made for a great catcher. In soccer, I was fast and tough. The more confidence I gained through sports, the more it inspired me to feel empowered in owning who I was. My mom reminds me of a story of when I was younger, where one night I couldn't fall asleep, and she suggested to read a book, to which I suggested to her, "Mom, I'm not Sarah. I don't like to read as much as she does, but I'm really good at basketball." I love this story because it demonstrates that I was aware of how I was different, and I knew what my strengths were, and that I wasn't trying to be someone else. I've been playing to my strengths ever since.
Sports also provides a place for us to show up even when we are scared. I remember playing softball on 2 different teams. One was a rec league with an average pitcher, and one was on a middle school team with an advanced pitcher who intimidated me. I was the catcher and had to signal what pitches the pitcher should throw, protect balls from home plate, and be the person who was standing there when people came running at you. This made me a natural leader at the game. With the average pitcher, I was confident in the pitches that I signaled, and because she threw so much slower, my reaction time didn't have to be quite as fast. With the superstar pitcher, I had to show up in that same role, even though I was shaking in my catching gear. Having to do this game after game gave me the confidence that even when you're scared, you can still go out on the field in sports and in life.
Sports have the power to unite a diverse group of people, creating hope and community. One of the many things I love about them. Mm-hmm. Having a common goal as a team and feeling that I could provide value to our success was something I identified as a young girl, and something that empowered me to be a team player. Inclusion and teamwork are life skills that can be learned on a field or in a classroom and used for the rest of our lives. Sports can teach us how to identify when someone needs a confidence boost or a cheer and giving it to them. High-fiving a teammate or telling a peer, great job, can both shift the way that person feels and uplift you too. Stepping into a new group of people can be intimidating. Giving children the opportunities to step into as many new situations as possible allows for both growth and assurance. When you give a group of strangers a common goal, you automatically give them a common ground to start from, something to work towards together. This process fosters space to break down barriers and work as a team. My cross-country team was built from a group of kids with all different backgrounds. We weren't originally friends outside of the team because our social groups were different, our families were different, our strengths and challenges in academics all looked different. But when we came together for practice every day, we worked together to cheer each other on to get faster and stronger. We celebrated each other at practice and league meets. And that team of strangers built trust and became just like family.
Becoming the best isn't the reason why we play sports, but it's who we become along the way. In high school, playing water polo and swimming, I was never the best on the team, but worked hard regardless. Participating in swimming and running in school and through junior lifeguards helped me get stronger in those sports. Because of that, I was able to have the confidence to join the triathlon team at UC Santa Barbara, not being intimidated to feeling like I had to be the best on the team, but having that fitness to keep up with my new teammates. Being a part of that team with members ranging from undergrads to grad students, some even international students, sports again became a common language for people with vastly different personal lives to have a common ground to meet on. The team competed at the club level, which meant anyone could participate, but their goals were different. Some people were trying to place individually or help the team place at nationals, while some just wanted to finish a triathlon for the first time. The experience of being on a large team like that with members from all different backgrounds and physical abilities, all cheering each other on, became a micro example of how empowering an event like She is Beautiful could be. Similarly, Girls Inc. values the importance of meeting participants where they are at, showing them that there is something we can learn from everyone and that every person's unique goals and voice are important.
Like the foundation of sports has been for Sarah and I, the structure, the values, and curriculum to which Girls Incorporated lives out can change the trajectory of girls' lives, bringing out the strengths that already live inside all of these amazing humans. So what happens next? What can happen when you give girls the opportunity to explore themselves in a large variety of activities while supported and encouraged? I hope in sharing our stories, you can see what becomes of girls who have the privilege to grow up in this environment. But how do these skills translate to the real world? What's the next chapter? One of the greatest lessons I took from my experience in sports was to lean into things I was good at, explore the things I was curious about, and look to how I could use these skills to provide something for the greater good of our communities and world. It's a scary and exciting thing starting something new. But just like a run, the first step is often the hardest. In college, I studied psychology and sports and exercise science. These subjects interested me, and although I didn't know where they would lead me, I trusted myself enough to follow my interests. Out of college, I worked for a health beverage company that was just getting off the ground in Carpinteria. This job provided me support to move back up north to Santa Cruz, California, and hold a position as a regional marketing leader. While I didn't love everything about this job, I love sharing my passion of health with others and working with local and regional events to bring our product to target consumers. A few years later, I started a job with Whole Foods Market in their marketing department, managing in-store and local event partnerships, relations with local vendors, and community building. At this time, I felt certain I had a different purpose and began getting curious about this yearning. I read books learning how to discover your purpose. I watched a lot of Oprah, did yoga, and focused on how to do a great job where I was at while still staying open to my next move. With my experience with the original health beverage company I worked for, as well as my time with Whole Foods, I realized how much I enjoyed bringing people together to feel good through health and fitness. As a then early 20-year-old, I saw my own love of running flourish in a new way and observed the way other women and girls use this physical movement as an anchor in their lives. I also noticed other women and girls who didn't feel included in this sport because they didn't see themselves as a runner and they didn't know where to start. I wondered what a running event space could look like, where you brought all levels of runners and walkers together, where everybody felt welcome. This idea pinged my heart and got me excited to explore this concept more. Thanks to Oprah's inspiration of speaking things into existence and writing down your ideas as if they've already happened, I still have a scrap piece of paper in my room in which I wrote down, I will host an all women's and girls race where everyone feels safe and celebrated. It will be fun, inspiring, and sell out in the first year. With a lot of hard work and still working full time, 8 months later, we hosted our first She is Beautiful event in Santa Cruz, California, selling out to 500 women and girls. There is so much we learned that first year, as we had never hosted a race before. But the energy and support of the community fueled us to dream bigger and do better. While keeping my full-time job with Whole Foods, we continued to grow She is Beautiful over the next 5 years, from 500 women the first year to 5,000 women in Santa Cruz in the 5th year. In the 2nd year of the event, we brought She is Beautiful to Santa Barbara, where Sarah and I both went to college. We hosted 800 women in the first year in Santa Barbara, and years later, we've grown the event to nearly 3,000 women and girls, landing as the largest current running event in Santa Barbara. After 5 years of creating She is Beautiful, managing customer service, launching registration, planning, sponsorships, and tons of other details for the event, it became too much with working full-time, and I made the decision to leave the security of my corporate job with Whole Foods to lean into something I believed so strongly in. That decision was one of the biggest and best decisions I have ever made. There's a ton of intention and care that goes into creating something new. Inspired by the environment that helped us thrive in our childhood and adolescence, we turned to sports to see what we could learn from those experiences when creating community. We knew we wanted to create an environment that was different from the current running event culture. Creating spaces where people feel welcome is important in creating community. Fostering a space for people to both test their own limits and celebrate others. Having space for fun and silliness. Making room for positive self-talk and positive body image. We learned this from sports. We experienced challenges in each year growing She is Beautiful, some big and some small, but when faced with adversity, we came back to She is Beautiful's purpose, put trust in ourselves, and it always led us to making the next right decision. Like many of us here who have stepped into a new space, in a career, or tried out for a team, applied for a job or a school, dated someone we felt was out of our league, or created a business. We have all had the experience of self-doubt or imposter syndrome, where you doubt your abilities or you feel like a fraud stepping into this new space. Learning how to speak to ourselves positively is an ongoing life skill, but it can be correlated with how we have been spoken to in the past. For myself and many others, running is an arena where we have the chance to practice positive self-talk on a regular basis. When running up a hill or feeling challenged, each time it gets hard, you can feel your mind lead you down two different roads. One positive, saying, "You got this," or "Go at your own pace, you're doing great, breathe." And one negative, saying, "Give up now, you aren't good enough." A strong pillar in bringing She is Beautiful to life was and is reminding women and girls the power that each of us have in using our voice both within ourselves and in the world. Positive self-talk can help us set ourselves up each day to be bold and brave. Just like learning to throw a ball, do a cartwheel, or use a microscope, learning how to talk positively and encourage ourselves is something we can all learn with practice. Sometimes when dreaming forward, it's hard to see the next step. But when we look back, we can see how things lined up for us or navigate us down a new road and teach us lessons and lead us to what's next. As I started She is Beautiful in Santa Cruz, Sarah was in grad school to become a physical therapist at the time. And with her infectious energy and overlap of purpose, it led her to play an important role in growing She is Beautiful in years to come.
So what did that path look like for me? From being a kid playing sports and leading these child-run business ventures to the woman I am today as the assistant director of She is Beautiful and a physical therapist running my own business, Pelvic Potential Physical Therapy. It was first steeped in immense privilege in many areas of my life. After that, I think it was because of the attitudes I developed through my participation in sports, along with the realization to do the next right thing. Next right thing, just like Elsa would. And I did that until I achieved my goal. In college, through triathlon, I got injured and found the field of physical therapy right here in Santa Barbara at Elite Performance and Rehabilitation. I saw how physical therapists help people return to sports they love to do and was hooked. I worked as an aide at that physical therapy office through college and beyond until I got into grad school at UCSF. Getting into that prestigious program was an accomplishment in itself. And as I heard people were getting the calls that they were accepted, my phone was definitely not ringing. I really thought at that point I didn't have a chance. I took out a piece of paper, and as Oprah, I guess, prompted both of us, I drew a picture of a view I remembered when I had been interviewing at that school. I drew this visual of what it looked like from one of their classrooms. I drew lots of little pictures about what my life would look like there. I wrote out my vision as if it had already happened. I'm going to UCSF. I will do amazing things there. I will learn things to help my community and the world. I then wrote a list on the back of all the people who believed in me, many of the people who I had done sports with throughout my life. I got a call the next morning that I got in. In becoming a physical therapist, while at the same time being an assistant race director for a growing race, I often felt like I didn't fit in either field. So often we get the messages that we have to choose one career and stick with it. Although uncomfortable, because I didn't have a lot of examples as people who are working as physical therapists while being the assistant director for a race, I really stuck with it because I knew that both of these fields helped me live out my passion. I went from working in fields of physical therapy in the hospital to people with spinal cord injuries and strokes, to orthopedics, helping people with muscle and bone injuries, to currently specializing in pelvic floor physical therapy with a big interest in treating athletes from amateur to professional. I know that I can do this now, in addition to being the assistant race director of She is Beautiful, blending two careers that might not even seem like they go together, because I exist in this world to live out a common mission of helping people, but especially women and other gender minorities, feel more at home and empowered in their bodies. In growing She is Beautiful, we took those lessons we learned from sports about showing up even when you're scared, working hard without knowing the outcome, and even more. We strongly held the intention about the power of gathering people from different backgrounds and physical abilities in one space. She is Beautiful became the place where so many of our adult participants, for the very first time, could show up exactly as who they were. And we would cheer them on as they participated to the best of their abilities on that day. It also became a place where we could give them the tools they need to show up in the starting line as their best selves through our training plans, community meetups, and social media encouragement. At She is Beautiful, we aren't here to help everyone become an Olympic runner, but we do want everyone to find the truest expression of themselves. I could go on forever, and I know Melissa could too, about the moments we've witnessed on our race course at our finish line that personify participants getting the best out of themselves. Some I can remember fondly are seeing participants who walked the entire race suddenly out of nowhere break into a run as they saw that finish line. I also remember so many Girls Inc. participants who have run the race year after year, some of them running entire race for the first time. One year, a bunch of them actually ran the 10K instead of the 5K after making a wrong turn, but then ended up being so stoked with themselves for finishing this crazy distance. Another was watching a person who had had a stroke the year before cross the finish line in her ankle brace using her cane, so proud of how far she had come. And then there are the thousands who we've seen cross that finish line with the most beautiful, ugly face of a person who's truly tried their hardest, who sometimes burst into tears at their accomplishment, hug a friend or a family member, or simply close their eyes and have a moment to reflect on what they did. It's like you can see thought bubbles exploding from their head, coming up saying, I did that. Now what else can I do? Girls Inc. provides the same opportunity, not telling girls who they need to turn into, but giving them the space to live out their true potential with safety, encouragement, and support. Participants at She is Beautiful and Girls Inc. are similar in the fact that they bring so many amazing things to the table already. They do not need anyone to save them. They could just benefit from having experiences where they can continue to grow into the best versions of them. The structure, encouragement, safe space, challenge, professional guidance, and above all, belief that we know how amazing they already are before they even step into our classrooms, our gym, or our starting line is what makes the work that She is Beautiful and Girls Inc. so incredibly special.
As in most journeys, there have been growing pains and bumps in the road. That's expected in growing anything. But we didn't see 2020 coming. In 2020, it was our 10th annual Santa Cruz event that has continuously sold out to 6,000 women and girls. We had a huge gala plan for the evening after the race to celebrate our 10th annual event. We were heading into our best year yet. 1 week before the March race, within a matter of 24 hours, we went from being so excited to realizing we would not be able to host this event live due to the uncertainty of what the world was calling a pandemic. Without much time to overthink anything, we were transparent with our decision to not host the live event due to the safety of our community and the world. It came as a shock to many, as the country didn't go into lockdown until a few days later, and no other large events had canceled yet. At first, people were angry, upset, and confused. In navigating this new situation, we did what we have always done when things get hard. We leaned into the situation with love and honesty. We did the best we could with what we were given. We pivoted the event into a virtual race within a 1-week time period, and we were brought to tears by the outpour of love for those who still believe so strongly in their own power to change their attitude in a hard situation. She is Beautiful has always shared the great parallel of life lessons we can learn through running. This 2020 experience was no different. When out on a run, sometimes you want to give up, but either you push through the hard parts or you walk to catch your breath, but you keep going. The continual practice of vulnerability, courage, determination, acceptance, strength, surrender, and love is what helps so many of us get through 2020. These virtues have also helped many of our participants year after year cross the She is Beautiful finish line in the past, as well as it goes hand in hand with the girls who go through the Girls Inc. program. We've been getting creative over the last year. While we feel the most hopeful for large events in 2022, we look forward to what our September 2021 She is Beautiful Santa Barbara event could look like. We're leaning into the opportunities that this time is presenting us, and we'll continue to lean in with love.
So give a girl the space and she will learn to take up space. That space needs physical structures, trained leaders, thoughtful curriculum, a well-developed mission, and the organizational infrastructure to live out that mission in everything it does. That's why we choose over and over again to have our event benefit Girls Inc. of Greater Santa Barbara.
Girls Incorporated is the perfect partner for She is Beautiful, allowing opportunities for girls to experience a wide variety of activities where they're encouraged, supported, and have the space to learn about themselves. I am strong, I am smart, I am bold.
I am strong, I am smart, I am bold.
And so are you. Our potential is limitless, and we believe so strongly in ourselves, all the girls at Girls Inc., and you. There's enough room for all of us at the top.
We would now love to introduce Kendall Peta.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kendall Peta, and I'm one of our 4 new members of the board of directors for Girls Inc. Santa Barbara. And I'm so honored to be representing the board this evening. I'm coming at you live from my art and design studio. By day, I run my own creative agency, and by night, I'm working to change the world by volunteering my time with Girls Inc. and Moms Demand Action. And I just remembered I didn't thank Sarah and Melissa for their awesome inspirational words. We are so lucky to have them in our corner. So I'm working with Girls Inc. Santa Barbara. I'm also a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, and I'm a mom, like Tracy said, to a 5-year-old future Girls Inc. girl, Ren, who is watching from the living room right now. So I'm going to give her a shout out. Hi, Rennie Boo. So like Tracy, Sarah, and Melissa, I know firsthand how important sports are to all aspects of a girl's development. Did you know that up to 95% of female business executives played sports? And nearly half of those women played at the university level. I myself am a proud Division I college soccer player. Here is my 22-year-old jersey. Check it out. It's got my name on the back. It's pretty cool. Sports helped me develop leadership skills and taught me how to work with my team, just like I'm doing now on the board of directors at Girls Inc. So I joined the Girls Inc. board this January because I want the world to change. I think it's beyond time that women and girls achieve not only equality, but equity. And we deserve the right to be strong and aggressive on and off the field, to be free from sexual violence, to have ownership over our own bodies, and the ability to decide for ourselves who we are and who we want to be. By serving on the board of directors, I really strive to embody our motto of being strong, smart, strong, and bold. So speaking of strong, smart, and bold, it's my pleasure to introduce Jasmine and Roz, 2 amazing Girls Inc. ambassadors who are going to share their personal Girls Inc. stories with you.
I'm Jasmine Ordaz. I am 13 and I've been doing gymnastics since I was 8. I always think about how I start my routine. I am a person who thinks about like the worst case scenario. So I take a breather and then I just think about the actual routine. Then there's always my teammates cheering for me. So that really gets my mind off of it and gives me confidence and reassurance.
Jasmine really wanted to come here, but when I did further research into, what programs were out there for gymnastics, this, really called to, my personal values and what Girls Inc. is after. Their values really align with mine.
I'm most proud of how much I've changed as a person. After going here for gymnastics, I have become a very talkative person. I feel a lot more energy. If it's been a rough day or it's just a normal day, you feel confident, I would say.
She's a lot more confident. She was always a very sensitive kid growing up, and she still has that, but now if she thinks that she has something to say, she'll speak up right away. If she doesn't believe in something, she will also mention it. I think she learned to speak up her mind and just be confident in herself.
Girls Inc. has made me a leader because it's taught me to be a lot more patient and checking up on people, always being there for them. I think of it as like a second home and like a second family, because you just grow a lot of bonds in this place and like the programs at Girls Inc. Most of my teammates, they're just really funny people and they're really fun to be around. Girls Inc. makes me feel happy and it makes me feel free. Even if I'm like really drained, I somehow get energy when I come into this gym.
My name is Roz Bora. I'm 17 years old and I've been with Girls Inc. for almost 13 years. In kindergarten, I started coming to the Goleta Valley Center after school almost every day, and I continued to do that through all of elementary school and middle school when I started going to the teen center, and then I continued to be a volunteer at this center. For me, the Girls Inc. experience means getting to be your whole self, which is not something that is always afforded to girls. When you walk into a space, a classroom, a work environment, anything that's not dominated by women, you are going to feel pressure to take up less of that space and to make yourself quieter and to apologize and to put other people first. And a lot of people get a lot of practice at that because they're doing it constantly, and at Girls Inc. that was not something that I had to think about. When I was little, I think it was really great for me to see every day coming through the doors in the lobby and seeing that everybody who was in charge was a woman. Recently, my role here has been as a volunteer working with some of the younger girls, and I feel a lot of responsibility to be a role model for them. I wanted to be a part of the Girls Inc. mission in a more substantial way and actually getting to help out other girls in the way that Girls Inc. had helped me. I think because of Girls Inc., I have had so many opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise. I had opportunities to learn about public speaking at a really young age and, do it, which was really scary for me, but is something that I think has served me well in a lot of my life. I think that a leader's job is to create a space that people will want to return to and people can be productive in whatever way is called for. And like physically, a leader, I think, looks like anything. I think we know that at this point.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Ardaz, and this is my first time public speaking, so I'm a little nervous. Anyways, I first came to Girls Inc. when I was 8 for gymnastics classes. Then when I was 9, I did the Girls Inc. summer program. Unfortunately, due to my parents' busy work schedules, I was only able to do this program for one summer. I also did the Girls Inc. Santa Barbara Junior High after school program, which ended shortly due to COVID-19. I love Girls Inc. I want to focus on my experience with the Girls Inc. gymnastics program because it's the program I've been in the longest. I love it because it brought up my confidence. Another reason why I love Girls Inc. is because I learned teamwork from them. I'm an only child, so I needed help in this department. Girls Inc. has also taught me respect, discipline, and responsibility. I learned to not be afraid to voice out my opinion. The gymnastics program at Girls Inc. has helped me on how to approach life. It has taught me that if you make a mistake or you don't get the score you wanted on a particular event, that it's okay. The important part is that you gave it your all and you tried your best. You shake it off and you continue with your next event. Something that I like about the sport gymnastics is that it continues to challenge me both mentally and physically. Another skill that was developed was my ability to be supportive of my friends and my teammates. It has taught me to be a good sport. I want to succeed, but I also get so happy to see my teammates succeed. At Girls Inc., I realized that it's good to be competitive in a healthy way. I also want to give a shout out to our coaches because they come in with positive attitudes, full of energy, and ready to teach us skills that will not only help us with our sport, but we will also be able to apply to our day-to-day lives. I truly believe that in the gymnastics program that we can train in a positive pro-girl, you can do anything type of environment. This is going to sound like a commercial, but I think you should join Girls Inc. in any capacity you can. I'm a little biased of the Girls Inc. gymnastics program. Thank you for listening to my rambling. I hope you all have a good day.
From the moment a girl is born, the world starts to put limits on her. She's limited in what she can wear and how she can express herself. She's limited in what she can be interested in and how ambitious she can be in pursuing those interests. She's limited in how opinionated she can be and how loudly she can assert herself. Girls Inc. will never deny the reality of those limitations, but it will encourage that girl to never accept them. Since kindergarten, Girls Inc. has been a near constant presence in my life. In elementary school, I came nearly every day of the week. I took classes about everything from the planets and archaeology to healthy eating and basketball. In every subject we learned about, we were given female role models to look up to. Girls are told you can be anything you want to be all the time, but they're not going to believe it until they see themselves reflected in any and every career path and life experience the way we were. In 5th grade, I had a teacher at school who would pull me aside and reprimand me for being disrespectful whenever I spoke up about something that I felt was unfair. At Girls Inc., that kind of behavior was encouraged, and my thoughts and opinions were valued. The staff members were still authority figures, but respect went both ways. At a theater summer camp, also in elementary school, I threw a little bit of a fit when a counselor told me I wasn't allowed to audition for Captain Hook because that was a role for a boy. The previous winter, I had played Simba's evil uncle Scar in Girls Inc.'s production of The Lion King. In middle school, I started coming to the then brand new Teen Center. We talked seriously about college and careers and went on field trips to places like Appfolio, a local software company. There, we met with female members of the leadership who talked with us about being women in computer programming. Coding wasn't something I had ever imagined as a career, but the possibility opened up for us that day. We also had conversations about gender and sexuality that were much more complex and open than what I was getting in my public school health classes. A few years later, when I started telling people I was gay, it was basically a non-event. At the Teen Center, we were all completely free to be ourselves outside of the hang-ups and expectations of gender stereotypes and adolescent girlhood. In high school, I wanted to take a more active role in Girls Inc., so I became a volunteer and a tutor for younger girls in a program called Boost. The staff made space for me to think creatively about how I could be involved as a mentor and a leader. Over and over again, my Girls Inc. experience has encouraged me to resist the limits that the world puts on me as a girl. Sometimes those limits are less tangible, but no less real. As a girl in a co-educational classroom, you do mental gymnastics. How often should I speak up? How do I amend my comments so no one thinks I'm stupid or overconfident? How do I avoid being wrong? This stifling inner monologue is second nature to those socialized female, and breaking the habit is difficult. Luckily, I and so many others have had a place to practice. At Girls Inc., we simply didn't have to worry about that. The barriers to our participation were removed. Now I notice how my female classmates end all their comments with, "But that's just what I think," and "if that makes any sense," and I wish more of them had gotten to build their confidence at a place like Girls Inc. I'm a senior in high school, and in the fall, I'll be in college studying chemistry. My dream is to get a PhD and become a researcher, looking for the answers to questions I don't even know exist yet. I know it's a big dream, especially considering that I have no scientists in my family. But for the last 12 years, I've been in an environment that tells girls they can do anything and be anything, that their ideas have value, and that there is no limit to what they can achieve. An experience like that can't help but make an impact. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Jasmine and Roz. I am so impressed. Jasmine, I expect we're going to see you in the Olympics soon. And Roz, when you run for president, you definitely have my vote. So as you just heard from Roz and Jasmine, the Girls Inc. experience is incredibly special and it's different. The Girls Inc. experience is a compelling combination of physical places, focused programming, and exceptional people that come together to support girls in all aspects of their development. On a fundamental level, Girls Inc. provides actual physical spaces where girls can feel safe, seen, and heard. Many girls don't have access to a safe place at home. And with many schools closed due to COVID-19, having a safe space is harder to find than ever before. When girls have a safe physical environment, they are more likely to open up, share their feelings, and ultimately be themselves. Girls Inc. provides a space where girls learn to be at home in themselves. Our Girls Inc. programming supports the development of the whole girl. We have 3 critical goals that drive our programming: help girls achieve healthy lives, succeed academically, and acquire the life skills needed to prepare them for adulthood. We deliver evidence-based, age-appropriate classes like healthy sexuality, ensuring that girls of all ages have the skills, knowledge, and support to take charge of their sexual health. But it's not just one program that impacts our girls. It's the constant daily interactions that foster their intellectual and socio-emotional development. Girls are encouraged to take what they learned back to their schools, back to their homes, and later into the world as adults. And most importantly, the Girls Inc. experience is different because of the people. Our trusted mentors and staff lead and inspire our girls on a daily basis. They are safe adults that our girls can talk to, lean on, and learn from. I'm a firm believer that sometimes all a girl needs is just one person in her life that believes in her. At Girls Inc., we are so grateful to have many inspirational adults empowering our girls every day. So let's get a more in-depth view of the Girls Inc. experience.
Girls Inc. of Greater Santa Barbara has been the cornerstone of leadership, social, and intellectual development for thousands of girls who have walked through our doors. What happens in here translates into homes, our community, and later our world. This development doesn't just happen through one single program or single encounter, but rather the culmination of support for our girls as they move through their many phases of life. At Girls Inc., we create a space with trusted mentors where intellect can flourish, feelings can be expressed, and the groundwork for a stronger future can be laid.
The physical spaces of Girls Inc. aren't just for learning, gymnastics, or after-school activities. If a girl feels safe in her environment, she is more likely to open up, share, express, and move. Our physical spaces are designed to be welcoming and to constantly remind girls that they can be anything they want to be.
A place where I feel emotionally and physically safe.
A place where I can fully express myself without fear.
A place for me to thrive.
A place to learn about powerful women.
A place to explore the world.
A place that is free of judgment.
A place for intellectual fulfillment.
A place that inspires me.
Girls Inc. has been at the forefront of delivering evidence-based, hands-on, and mind-on, age-appropriate programming specifically designed to meet the needs of today's girls. Our trained staff develop locally focused programs that ensure girls are exposed to new experiences. Our programs are less academic in nature, but rather focus on a spirit of wonder and discovery. Whether the activity is unstructured play, structured games, cooking sessions, or art projects, the focus is on enjoying the process.
Girls Inc. programs are fun.
Girls Inc. programs are interesting.
Girls Inc. programs have helped me find my voice.
Girls Inc. programs have helped me learn about my body and my health.
Girls Inc. programs have taught me about my world through science.
Girls Inc. programs have taught me about strong women in history who look like me.
But most importantly, it is the people who make the Girls Inc. experience whole, those who lead and inspire us on a daily basis, and others like me who walk through their doors. These are the people who are fundamental to our success, who make the places and programs come alive, and help me believe that I am strong, smart, and bold.
They push me to believe I'm better.
They look like me and help me see myself as a strong community leader in the future.
They support me, and by supporting me, they support my family.
They help me grow.
They empower me to use my voice to stand up for myself and others.
They are my friends.
Hi, everyone. I'm back for what I promised you the last time. I hope by now you have a really clear understanding about the Girls Inc. experience, how it's different, and why it is so important. On a daily basis, women and girls are faced with a multitude of oppressions due to their gender, sexual violence, financial disparities, unrealistic standards of beauty, and double standards. And nothing gets me like a double standard. If you are a woman or a girl of color or identify as LGBTQ, non-binary, or a part of another marginalized community, then these aggressions are multiplied. And as I told you earlier in the evening, I joined the Girls Inc. board because I want this to change. I want the world to change, and I want the world to be just like the Girls Inc. experience. The world should be a place where women and girls feel safe and accepted, where they are free from physical and sexual violence, where girls feel empowered, have ownership over their own bodies, and are free from social and cultural standards of beauty and behavior. Our community, our society, our entire world should be a place where girls feel safe. Girls shouldn't have to go anywhere or do anything to be accepted, empowered, and equal. The world should be that place. So I invite you tonight to help me, help us change the world. Help make the Girls Inc. experience a universal truth and a right for all girls everywhere. Help us change the current standards of being small, sweet, and quiet into strong, smart, and bold. A donation to Girls Inc. tonight isn't just charity to help a girl. As you learned today, our girls are already empowered and strong. Your donation to Girls Inc. tells our community and our world that you want the world to change and that you are investing in a more equitable future by supporting the Girls Inc. experience of today. So thank you to everyone who has donated to this event. We are so humbled by your generosity. And if you feel so moved, please give what you can now. Any gift is a wonderful, valued gift. And you can donate right now using the form that's popped up on your screen. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
For me, the Girls Inc. experience means getting to be your whole self, which is not something that is always afforded to girls.
Girls Inc. has made me a leader because it's taught me to be a lot more patient. I think of it as like a second home and like a second family, because you just grow a lot of bonds in this place, and like the programs at Girls Inc.
I think that a leader's job is to create a space that people will want to return to and people can be productive in whatever way is called for.